A Poem by Dr. Bob, written in a prior season of life. The rainbow throne beyond the glassy sea. Long before the universe was spoken to be, there was a rainbow throne beyond the glassy sea, and him who sat upon that throne was self-existent on his own. In perfect love and unity dwelt the glorious Holy Trinity. Within himself during that timeless age, in council did the glorious God engage. While creation would shine forth from that ageless session, the eternal purpose was a people for his own possession. When all creation had been made good and sound, on the sixth day he brought man up from the ground. Male and female he created man. In holy marriage did their union reflect a greater plan. But alas, the lies of the accuser took unholy aim, and guilty man was cast out in sin and blame. Through fear of death, man lived his days in ever increasing perdition, but the eternal plan of grace needed no new rendition. Through global flood and calling out into a foreign land, the God of covenant was working as he had always planned. For in his grace he established a holy line that would one day bring forth a seed divine. Through Moses, judges, priests, prophets, and many a king, the nation called Israel discovered that condemnation was all that law could bring. And though from exiled nation and broken temple the Spirit had departed, from the remnant line the next movement of redemption was about to be started. In the fullness of the appointed time, a miracle took place that was so sublime that King upon his rainbow throne came down to lowly earth to redeem his own. Through a virgin's womb and humble manger, the King became a babe to save his people from his Father's holy wrath and anger. In perfect life and complete obedience to all his Father's holy prescription, the Son of Man accomplished all of his holy mission. In illegal trial held on the blackest night, the leaders, Herod and Pontius Pilate, conspired to slay the Son of Light. In curses, fists, and bloody scourging, it had come time to complete sin's final purging. On the way of pain and naked shame, we came at last to the hill of the end of sin's blame. In dirge and woeful psalm he rent a mighty cry. That day the King from the rainbow throne didst really die. When his holy heart was rent and burst, his chosen people were no longer cursed. Alas, upon that wood of expiation he gained for his own that long sought, undeserved propitiation. His broken corpse they laid in the rich man's tomb. They thought they had assigned him to final doom. But on the morn of the third day, as the women arrived, they saw a sight that could not be contrived. For the messengers in pure white were in that empty stone prison. They said to the women, "He is not here, for he is risen." When the women and his apostles met him in Galilee, the King, the teacher, was there to see. After the cowardly rock's reconciliation and the former doubters' confession of adoration, he gave to his elect people a holy mission, an unprecedented great commission that to escape the judgment to come and experience God's relief, the call to sinners is repentance and belief. For this great ministry of reconciliation was given to win men from every tribe, tongue, people, and nation. And the Son of Man, who had descended, was caught up in victory and glory, ascended. And this good message his people took to a world that was lost after receiving the Holy Helper at Pentecost. And when the holy mission has been completed, and all his enemies have been defeated, when the earth and heaven have fled away, there comes the great and awful judgment day. The King will judge the quick and the dead upon his great white throne, and death and Hades will be cast into the lake of fire and brimstone. Then after all these things have come to pass, he will rule his people in a new creation that will always last. And in that golden, glorious, and holy city will dwell the saints who have felt his pity. And always to eat from the tree of life will be his blood-bought, holy wife. Then there will no longer be a glassy sea before his rainbow throne, but there will always be, to remind his own, the scarred hands that for them atoned.